That's more I have to snip off at the beginning of the episode, right?
Good. I'm just going to keep doing it throughout the entire thing, so all of your points get ruined.
Oh, gee, thanks. All right. Hello and welcome to the GamerRoos Podcast. Today is February 20th, 2024. My name is James Carrino, and I'm joined today by...
Alexandre Stout.
And making his triumphant return...
And me.
How very triumphant.
I know.
Following up on a previous episode's topic is the Xbox rumors situation. Now, in the interim between when we recorded that episode and when we released it, Phil Spencer did come out and did officially clarify the rumors. There were a selection of Xbox first-party games that were going to be, second-party, I guess technically, that are going to be released on PlayStation and possibly Nintendo Switch, Starfield among them. That was the core of the rumor. People probably heard the multi-plat somewhere up the line, and that turned into getting out of the console market, because that's generally what that means. There is going to be a next Xbox, probably Xbox number 5, I guess. Details for that are, of course, forthcoming as we get ready for the beginning of the next console generation. I hope you're excited.
Well, to start off, I've been saying, Microsoft, or to be exact, Xbox business strategy since, day one?
Mm-hmm.
And it was very apparent they're going to go at least multi-platform with the release of the Xbox app. And then now more recently, including the Xbox app stream playing on smart TVs or whatnot.
I'm sorry, when you say smart TVs, for some reason I get games are going to be ported to smart TVs. I'm just imagining someone trying to play Halo with a Roku remote.
No, I mean, that would be fun to see. But
I'm sure somebody's tried.
But yeah, no, you can connect your Xbox controller to a TV or a smart TV that has the Xbox game app and play.
You can do it with your phone. Yeah, you can do that.
So basically, Stadia but upgraded.
I also want to say you can do that with your phone too, and with the new Persona 3 Reloaded coming out, I've seen a bunch of videos of people trying to play it on their phone, and the quality is so bad, because it's such a high graphic game that the phone lags so terribly when it does anything. This one person swung their sword in Tartarus, and the entire thing just and then aggressive as he swung the sword. So
the revelation of the multiplat is because of the issues in the current video game market. It makes sense why they're trying to open up their user base to more platforms. Now, in addition to this, with the recent success of Helldivers 2, which is a Sony exclusive, well, it's on PC, but that's neutral territory. The success of it, there's actually because of the multi-platform deals and the public knowledge of that now, has been some interest on Sony's part to release Helldivers, which is, again, a game published by Sony, on Xbox, which is interesting because that implies an ending to game exclusivity in general.
I mean, thinking about it, Sony is not afraid to put their games on PC. We can see Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of Sony exclusive games are put on PC.
Yeah, since COVID, that's when that snowball kind of started.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
With more people now at home having PCs and all that stuff, and with the PlayStation 5 shortage, they've it kind of emulates what Helldivers is experiencing now, right? They were expecting 10K, and what did they get? PC alone.
What is Helldivers?
300K?
300? Is it 300K?
300K concurrent, I think.
For those in our audience who are curious, Helldivers 2 is basically, if you've seen the movie Starship Troopers, or have read the book, incidentally, it's basically that in video game form.
You spread your willing democracy to Xeno.
So is it
Would you like to know more?
So is it a Civilization kind of game?
No. It's a third-person shooter. It's kind of like Left 4 Dead, but...
Okay, so would a good way to imagine Helldiver be a Halo, a borderline Halo ripoff or knockoff?
Knockoff is too far, but
it's that
Space
sci-fi,
Marines.
that sci-fi-esque.
Still the space Yeah, still the Space Marine concept that was popularized by books like Forever War or, by Starship Troopers.
I know a lot of people are pissed about it, mad that they have to wait 8 hours.
Oh, yeah. But I thought they're going to be addressing that.
Yes,
they stated that
they're really transparent about it, which is good. Any company worth their dollar should be that transparent.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, it doesn't look like they're going to lose that momentum.
Helldivers, I mean, at the moment, it's got a 6 out of 10 on Steam, but IGN has it as a 9 out of 10. But we don't really trust IGN's opinion. Oh my gosh, holy crap. Helldivers, dude, now that I look at the logo, this is the game I got my crush for Valentine's Day. It was on his wish list.
You want democracy.
I got it for like $30, don't ask how.
You gotta love it.
You probably had like a coupon code or something like that.
Don't ask how.
Okay.
But
do you want to know more?
You want to know more about how I achieved Helldiver?
Server issues are common across a lot of games.
Every game that is online.
Ubisoft
and Riot Games. So what exactly is going on with these Helldiver servers? What's the problem?
It's capacity.
Yeah, capacity. That's what it is.
So not enough players going on?
No. There are too many players.
Other way.
There's not enough slots for their... I don't know if they have dedicated servers, but...
I lead it off. They expected 10K players to be on. They got 300K.
Wow.
And growing, I think.
Yeah.
That's just Steam.
Oh.
That's just Steam.
They're public about their player counts. With PlayStation, which is the other home console for that for the exclusive, that's it's possibly more, possibly less. We're not quite sure. But you know what? I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have a new IP like this out there.
It's not new.
Well, I mean, there was obviously, it's the second one. But the first one was a top-down game. And even though it's largely, you could call it an Earth Defense Force game that.
It's kind of like XCOM.
Yeah, yeah. So I am excited to see a new IP like this, in Helldivers, or at least new interest in an IP like Helldivers, and possibly this turning into its own franchise. It gets to expand, do its own thing.
It is very much a game about you are trying to spread Earth influence outside, and also protecting Earth from
the bug menace.
Currently, yes, the bug menace.
We got to hear you say it, Alex.
Okay, hold on.
He's got to put on his machismo voice.
We must stop the bug menace.
Bug menace.
The bug menace at all costs. And spread our loving democracy.
We will spread our peaceful intentions through violence, and lots of it.
But wait, I'm from the UK. I thought we should spread the monarchy.
Heretic.
Their plots are compelling enough to make you not think about the actual mechanics, and the characters are written well enough to where you're not questioning the mechanics, which is tantamount to writing a good plot. But it's still governed by the holy plots being run after the fact of gameplay and maps being made.
See, the only reason I have to slightly disagree, though, I'm always going to disagree at this, is because of the endings in GTA 5 and just how hard they are to make, and because of how good the story of Bully was. When you actually do a psychoanalysis on Jimmy, it's just it's a really sad story when you think about it.
I personally haven't played Bully, so I can't comment on that.
Dang, I know. It's such a niche game. It makes me so sad that it never got a sequel. We were going to have a freaking Rockstar band you could join, but...
Hey, it's taking forever to release GTA 6.
Yeah,
blame GTA.
It literally got canceled because GTA 5. It makes me so sad.
Yeah, okay. The success of GTA Online basically stopped everything that Rockstar wanted to do for future projects, just because they knew if they released anything, the GTA Online, income would basically stop. Yeah. And they wanted to spend all the time modeling horse testicles in Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't...
Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't understand that.
But yeah, no. I don't know. It's just...
I think I have to agree with when we circle back to the statement of this push for single player games. I have to agree that there was a lot of multiplayer games starting to make an appearance to where it's I don't want to have to play with other people. I like to play.
I wasn't I don't mean like a push for single player games, but I think it's just that like solo play kind of thing.
So okay, I see what you're talking about, because it's like in Garden Warfare where you have you can play solo garden ops, or you can play with people. It's still viable either way.
Yeah. It's basically like, I don't want to deal with everyone else. I'm better than them, and like whatever toxic feeling they have.
Video game communities.
I mean, like,
I've had the pleasure of not being a part of many toxic communities. Now, I play TF2, and that has a very, let's be honest, schizophrenic reputation when it comes to communities.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
But generally speaking, when I matchmake, people are pretty chill.
This guy over here is schizophrenic about Starfield. I don't know.
Schizophrenic. It's fine. It's boring, but it's fine.
Dude, okay, I'm not gonna lie. When you say schizophrenic side of the TF2 community,
they're probably like literal schizophrenic.
There probably is, but for some reason, because when I was real freaking little, I stumbled across like the weirdest TF2 videos, and I'm positive that side of the community does not exist anymore. Does anyone remember those really awful freaking like TF2 videos where Scout would just eat people?
Yeah.
No, they still exist. I mean,
they still do exist,
you gotta delineate between like SFM videos and like Gmod videos, and that was definitely the style of the time to make those kinds of Gmod videos. Which, bizarrely enough, the same guy who probably the same guy you're thinking of, this dude named Das Boshit. He's the same guy that made a ton of Gmod videos back in the day, made a ton of SFM videos. He made Skibbity Toilet.
Of course he did.
Well, where else do you think it's going to come from? It's like the MalePed Model 7 in Half-Life 2 or something like that in a Gmod toilet.
Dude, oh my gosh. It's so weird because it's like, sometimes it feels like parts of that community either just didn't exist, or it feels like this weird Mandela effect.
Oh.
They actually didn't exist, but they're there.
I mean, basically they had creation tools, and within the stock model set were the TF2 players, and TF2 has a very fastidious community. I guess if I were to use my microbiology terminology properly, it'd be a non-fastidious community because they don't need much input to survive. Thanks, Valve.
It's even weirder because it's like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this. I know there's TF2 fans in the game, but like every TF2 fan I have met, quite literally is so stuck in the past. It's like they still play TF2 so regularly. It's like, so dude, true. Play something else. There's so many games out there and you're still playing TF2.
To be fair, I only played TF2 on the yearly around like October when the Halloween updates come out. Yeah, and that's basically when the major, the singular, well, I guess there's the Christmas updates, but like one of the two major updates actually comes out. And even then, like, that's not, classic TF2 would have been like a couple of major updates a year as per any good, multiplayer game that wants to keep its player base. But it's also, but that's primarily when I play it. I might pop in for a match or two somewhere down the line, but that's when I play it.
But yeah, circling back to the toxic community, right? It's I want to say inherent to those kind of communities where it's because you're look at it like someone that's playing any kind of ranked mode. It's basically you versus your team versus your damn opponents. So it kind of festers into I gotta be better. I am better instead of like I gotta be better. I am better than all these shitheads.
Schmucks.
When I think of, so my problem that I found with a lot of toxic communities is I played Wizard 101 for a while, and it's so weird because it's like, I remember I played really, really far into Wizard 101, and I got super bored at one point, and I kind of expressed my boredom in the community, and I had a lot of people that were like, it makes sense that, you've gotten so far into the game that it makes sense that you're getting boring, it makes sense that you're not enjoying the game as much, and some of them are like, if your decks feel like they're struggling, just message me, I'll help you make it. However, there was a lot of people who posted that, but everyone else in that community downvotes my post in Reddit and is like, LMAO, you just don't know a good card game when you see it. It's like, just because I find one game boring, it's like suddenly you just offended someone's entire reason to exist. But there was also this PvE game mode called Blood Moon, where basically it would come like once a month, and you would play with a bunch of people, and you would go and try to beat a bunch of enemies in a specific time. And it was really, really hard because the cards you got were super, like, you have to know the mechanics of this game. And everyone in this game mode is so ungodly toxic. It's like, you used that card, I wouldn't have used that card. Why are you doing this? I got like death threats from somebody on Wizard 101 telling me that I should unalive myself.
I mean,
because I fucking I caused them to lose in one round in Harvest Moon, despite you can just queue up again. Like, it's so bad.
Yeah, no, toxicity is very more apparent when you go into these more niche communities.
Well, see, it's weird because it's not like Wizard 101 is a pretty niche community. It's a game that's kind of losing. It's been losing its touch.
At this point, it's niche. At this point, it's niche. Let's be real.
Yeah. You say I'm stuck in the past.
I don't play Wizard 101 anymore. I thought about getting back into it, but
Yeah.
With another game that I think I'm in the Fire Emblem and Persona community, and it's like they have the same exact problem. If you complain about the difficulty in a game, you get like so many people being like, I don't find the game hard, you just are bad at playing it.
I've noticed... Sorry, go ahead, man.
So, like, how do I put it? A lot of these people, I think it's come from the problem that they played this game so much, it's become their identity.
Mm-hmm.
And, like...
Elitists.
Just wears a badge.
But like, not just elitists, but like, it's they define themselves by the game.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody like go after their game, or like, this can be honestly be put in anywhere really, they get defensive.
An experience I had with this was referencing back to State of Decay 2. I had taken a group of a community of survivors from one map to another, and I was starting them on this new map. Mm-hmm. Now, a mechanic in State of Decay is that, like, as you first start, your encounter rating is specifically set to very low. So, freak zombies or like special infected kind of deal. Mm-hmm. Specifically, like, will not spawn very frequently on low levels. So when you've got a guy with like no weapons and like no food, and you're probably partially injured, they're not going to get jumped by a blood feral. But as the game goes on, you're going to see more and more and more of those special infected to give you more of a challenge as you collect more resources. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. Now, granted, I was playing on the hardest difficulty, lethal mode, because I've played entirely too much of the game, and that's the only way I can stay stimulated is when it's difficult. Mm-hmm. But there is a point when you jump out of your base, and for making the crime of like the running sound you make when you run, 4 blood ferals spawn. And you have to, and when blood ferals spawn, you have to like drop everything you're doing and like run for safety, because these guys are faster than your character. They can kill them inside of a couple of hits, and their head is armored, so you can't even like one-shot them from a distance. So you have to like, it's, yeah. So I apologize. I'll cut that down in editing. But basically, I had posted that the spawn rate during the max spawns in the hardest game mode was excessive, because it basically stops the game. Mm-hmm. And people were telling me, well, it's supposed to be unfair, so you're just, bad.
So I had literally the same exact experience happen recently. I played through Fire Emblem Birthrights, which is said to be the easiest Fire Emblem game, especially since it's technically Fire Emblem Fates Birthrights, and there's like 3 different paths in that game. Birthrights is just one of the paths, and it's said to be one of the easiest Fire Emblem games. It's easy because it gives you the ability to level grind, and it's very, very lenient with the resources that you have compared to Conquest and Revelations, which aren't. Revelations actually will let you grind, but that's different. So I played through the entire game like it was Conquest, where you can't grind, and I tried not to use this thing called Heart Seals, where you can put units into different classes. I try to keep them on just their main classes. And I found that the game is practically impossible to beat without using Heart Seals, because by Chapter 23, you get hit with a lot of enemies that can deal both physical and magical damage. But you don't have units that can properly that can tank both physical and magical. So I posted in the community. I did manage to beat the game without it, but I feel like I cheesed it and didn't really like play it legitimately. So I posted in the community that I start to understand where the hate for Fates' map design comes in because of how difficult this game was to do without using those mechanics. Because they're not required mechanics. They're optional features. Mm-hmm. They're advanced mechanics, but you don't have to use them. Just like in Awakening, you don't have to second seal your units into additional classes. So I posted and wrote my whole complaint about it, and I just get an influx of people saying things like, it's an advanced mechanic, it's supposed to be used, it's supposed to challenge your ability of using those mechanics, saying things like, it's not possible because you're not playing the game properly, they've got different design philosophies, and instead of just like giving me feedback or criticism, it was just like flat out like someone flat out called me a moron because I called Birthrights easy. I called Birthrights hard, and since the community genuinely accepts that the game is easy, calling it hard, it's like you're going against what like a collective group of people say. Mm-hmm. And I realized that the main because none of them were actually saying I did this without heart seals and I was able to beat it. All of them were basically getting offended that I was saying not using heart seals makes these maps impossible, and most of them, all of them admitted to using heart seals, so they're not in the same boat as me, but I'm basically saying that their skills are not as superior to those who can play through the games without it. That wasn't what I was implying in the post. That's
no. What you were saying is that they were stupid and that they should attack you. Yeah,
that's exactly
clearly the miscommunication was on your part. So
I mean,
please find the requisite jerry can and the cigarette lighter, and I'm sure you can put it together.
But right. I think these kind of toxicity is different from like what I was referencing earlier, because they're idiots on the internet, like for sure, and like I think it's different from a community being toxic and a simple I guess misguided anger.
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of see what you're saying, like. Communities being toxic in the sense of like, oh my gosh, you think a game is hard and I think it's easy, versus like, OMG, you beat me, I hope you die.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I used to actually be that toxic in fighting games. Dude, okay, I played Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, and I hated fighting Adachi players so much that my quick message was Adachi mains KYS. I was so done with that.
You realize you're part of the problem.
I was part of the problem, I'm not anymore.
I mean, most people are a part of the problem. I'm sorry, I'm not part of the problem.
I mean,
it's honest.
If we do want to analyze sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
Okay. Like the way that communities will take something as a statement of fact. I'm part of the Fallout community. I enjoy the Fallout games in general, but there is a legendary, famous divide between people who enjoy Fallout 3 and people who enjoy Fallout New Vegas. Now, generally speaking, I admit that New Vegas is probably the better game of the two. Just better mechanics, better story, that sort of thing. But at the same time, I still hold a particular reverence for Fallout 3 because it's my first Fallout game, and I think the story strikes a little closer to home for me.
Aren't we a saint?
But the amount of vitriol that Fallout 3 will get from entrenched Fallout New Vegas fans, and I'm not referring to the kinds of people who say like, oh, I've tried Fallout 3, I don't really care for it, or I don't really think it'd be the game for me, so I'm not going to bother playing it. That's fine. I don't take any issue with that statement. What I do take issue with are the kinds of people that upload like 4-hour-long reviews of Fallout 3 and just, this game is the worst game ever. This game is like, I don't understand it. It's a terrible RPG. And then, are you going to die, Min?
No. Heartburn.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know that feeling.
No, I'm hungry, but
I get it.
But
we'll wrap this up soon. But trying to elaborate that kind of nuance in an online discussion is difficult, especially with the kinds of people that unfortunately populate those sorts of discussions. And,
it's like,
I think like
you can't beat nuance into people no matter how hard I've tried.
Dude, it's not just that. It's just people are caught up in their own biases and headcanons.
Oh my dude, when you say that, since I'm in the Persona and Shin Megami Tensei community, that right there, you guys can't see, but I'm pointing to Min. Oh, I hit the mic.
No, you're pointing to the microphone.
I'm pointing to Min because I'm relating, but that issue in the Persona community is so prevalent. So many old school fans have like completely nostalgia tinted glasses.
Yeah.
To where they are making like they will judge. Like, they'll say Persona 1 or Persona 5 is a trash game, but their comparison is Persona 3. But their only way of, like, judging Persona 5 is it giving me the same nostalgic feeling as Persona 3?
Yeah.
No, because you played that game when you were in high school, and obviously it's not going to give you the same memories and feelings as Persona 5.
Yeah.
Cards on the table. That's how it is for newer Call of Duties for me.
I mean, I get it. And the problem I have, though, is that when we're judging games based off of nostalgia,
it's hard to judge because like some things doesn't age well.
Mm-hmm.
Something
like Persona
does,
3
but
did not age well.
No.
The game sucks.
No,
Story's trash. Gameplay is horrible.
Grinding was like horrid.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Remember? Oh my gosh, yeah. Can't beat the final boss unless you're or over level 90. That's
Something
like the
like
lowest
that,
people can beat it.
Yeah, and nostalgia is good, but sometimes you need to move on, and sometimes think of something new, please.
Exactly, and and the problem I have is when people start judging games based off nostalgia, they're always going to be more old school fans will be more critical on new games because what they think a good game looks like is what gives them the same emotional feeling, but that doesn't mean the story is bad or is as well wrote as they want to make the game out. Like Persona 3 is a paced disaster. Old school fans will refuse to acknowledge that.
You see, that's the thing.
He's pointing to me.
That's the thing that I get hate on because I like Persona 4 better than 3.
I have not beaten 4 yet, but I can understand it. I could understand it is better than 3 in many ways.
Mainly because of story, actually.
I would agree with that too. The only thing I actually liked about Persona 3 was the answer, honestly.
Yeah, and they kind of cut it for a reason.
It is getting DLC.
It really?
Yeah, they did confirm it's getting its DLC. So I'm
why in the world when you're releasing a remake would you hold back on the?
Because they were going to sell for DLC.
This is Atlas we're talking about. This is Atlas.
They're literally remaking SMT5. That game came out a couple of years ago.
You have to understand they're holding the world on their shoulders. So obviously, you have to understand these kinds of things. Please buy the DLC.
Yeah, bro, we're still cutting half the content though.
Swim club? Not on my watch.
but yeah, no, like that. Just to recenter myself. This kind of how do you call it? Bad actors, I guess.
Yeah, assholes on the internet.
Yeah,
me.
They don't hold into comparison to the genuinely closeted, toxic, competitive gamers. Cause
him.
Cause what? It's you are sure playing a game. Yes, is at the end of the day, it's a game. I'm invested in games too, but
I will say
some people just don't let up. And there's, it's pretty much an addiction. I can assure you not. It's an addiction. It's self-identifying.
I can say because I used to be I'm slightly toxic in League now, but I used to be so much worse in League.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've had points where I would get 3 chat bans in a row. Yeah. No, it was bad. I almost had my account. I think I have had my account suspended for 14 days too.
Oh my
I have
God.
had I know it's been suspended for a day and one time for a week, and then I think I had a 14-day suspension. Yeah. I used to be super toxic in League, but that was also because I was super depressed in life, and League was the only thing I was playing all day. I physically dropped out of college because I didn't want to do anything else but play League. But I was super depressed, and I noticed in the way that people play League now that, when I see a toxic player and see how they're typing, I can tell that they're just like me. Or they were just like me when I was playing, and that's how I can see where my pattern. These patterns.
It's the same kind of mentality, really. Like because it's natural for this kind of game, and it's funny. Okay. It's funny that they're trying to shed this toxic scene and be more PC friendly. But it's something that's hard to do when your game is naturally
attracting those sorts of people in the first place.
Regardless of if it's a MOBA shooter, a competitive shooter, tactical shooter, fighting game, whatever, right? It's just you can't get PC friendly with competitive. It's hard.
Any competitive game is, and personally, like if I'm having a bad day, unless I just want to like joke around, I'll play League. But like if I'm having a bad day, I would prefer to play like a turn-based RPG,
something
that I can just grind on instead of like actually like play something that I'm going to be around more people who are probably going to just be like as worse. And I think there's also like a big feeling of like, in terms of like MOBAs and stuff, there's like a big feeling of helplessness because it's like.
But also it's like, hey, you don't know how skilled the other guy is. If he's more skilled than you, you can't be talking. Kind of feel.
Yeah, but it's like if he's more skilled than you, you can't be talking. But then it's like people need to put up a wall, so it's like. He's more skilled than me, but he's playing Draven, so obviously he's just likes to play. He's a meta whore essentially.
It's a fester of delulu.
I will say though,
a hive of scum and villainy.
I absolutely do hate meta whores because I know the mentality that meta whores have, and it infuriates me because they break games to a point where they ruin champions so much.
Dude, so I went to the last night at the Mario Kart tournament. I looked up in between rounds meta carts just to try and win, but I was like, no, I shouldn't do that. I'm not gonna stoop to that level, and I wound up going. I wound up getting into the top 3 with the submarine cart and Luigi, and I won $5. It was great.
But okay. Kind of enlighten me, I guess. What do you think the meta whore is doing to the A game?
So let me describe how Tank Diana in League of Legends made the entire game crash. So tank items get a rework. This one item if you attack somebody, you get burn damage. And Diana is an assassin. So she starts building this. Many assassins start building this. Yeah. This item, along with the other tank items Diana was building, gets nerfed. Well, what does this mean? Tanks completely die. They were useless because their items get nerfed because, little mister, I have a shit day in high school, need to go play meta whore Diana because that's the only thing I can do to feel happy, and then ruins it for everyone who just wants to play the champion. Another great example, fucking Zeri. Zeri really was she was a really unbalanced champion.
Trinity.
Oh, hey, you know what's really great? Let's just all play the unbalanced build that Zeri's building.
Trinity.
Let's nerf now. Now we have to nerf that item because it's too good on Zeri, and then now she's nerfed so hard in the freaking ground that she can't even be played anymore.
Punch and black box there, crutch.
Okay, but let me put it to a contention.
Actually, I can keep saying something because now I remember.
Let me put you.
We're at an hour, gentlemen.
Okay, go.
Yumi.
Yeah, actually, let me put your contention. Let me put another contention. Ezreal. You want to know if an item is broken in League? Ezreal. Is it being played on Ezreal? If it is, do not. It's broken. And I swear, it's like, is Mage Ezreal a thing? Okay, Mage items are over too.
But you see, meta whoring is good because they took Yumi out of the fucking game.
I mean, no, they just made her worse. Now she can move her ult and it slows instead.
I haven't seen one Yumi one bit.
Okay, when Yumi Morgana was a real bad problem in the very beginning of season 13, I think we're on, or season 14.
14.
14. Oh my gosh, Yumi Morgana was a problem. And I hate... Meta whores in the beginning of the season are fine, but it's like... when you start just constantly playing things, you're just going to ruin the champion.
But it's also like... It's a fine line between knowing like certain mechanics and knowing what's good on a certain character versus like I'm just doing it because I saw on the internet that it was so good that I saw Professor X.
Professor Horo.
Oh
my gosh, it reminds me of freaking AP Kaisa, where, like, because AP Kaisa, mages got screwed over because they had to nerf all of mage items, because how bad Kaisa's AP scaling was, where she could, like, one-shot a tank.
And this... A podcast turned into
a League of Legends rant. That's how we are signed to end it.
Do I have to?
When people start talking too much about League of Legends, I think that's the time the podcast.
Then I'll take the hint. I'll take the hint. No news. No news.
I got some news. I completely failed my math test.
That's too loud.
I know.
Yeah.
That's part of the joke.
Failed my math test, 30 out of 70. Jeez. I think I would have got a passing grade if I didn't screw up on the last part, but due to, like, getting pushed so far behind, I physically could not.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on a biochem grade to come back, and the test was harder than I could reasonably expect based on, like, the extended and the old exam. I still did the hell out of them, but I sat down for the test and I'm like, is this?
None of my problems, because I'm not in...
Yeah, I wish. I'll be you in 3 months.
I will say, though, I did find out I might be able to get an exemption, and I might actually not have to take a math. I have very severe dyslexia, and that makes math borderline impossible, because you'll always confuse formulas.
Fair.
So...
We're going to end this episode here. I want to thank you very much for listening, and I want to thank you very much for watching, and have a good day, have a good night.
See y'all later.